You walk in, adults are gone. You're no adults allowed. Everybody's a kid. And I'm just like, amazing.
I was supposed to have a layout in my house because I'm a train nut, just like everybody else here. And I lost the territorial wars with my wife in the house. So
It's like a human living being where it's breathing, you know. You'll come in today, it'll be this way, and tomorrow it'll be something different.
So about 25 years ago, my father, my uncle, and myself purchased this building here in Patterson. We had another facility, and then this just served our needs wonderfully. All of us would go visit different train shows and just enjoy the whole idea and concept of model railroad and the family aspect of it. And then we realized that a layout came available, and we figured, hey, we have space here on the third floor of our building.
they decommissioned the whole layout, cut it into pieces, and then this is the pieces laying on the floor as they were reconstructing it and expanding it a little bit. You can see the difference in the room. There's the old style factory floor lights. They had just replaced the windows because they had those big giant windows. There were pigeons flying around. There was pigeon crap all over the place. And well, this is looking from right where we are, looking that way. And this is when it was completely put together. Now that's just the center layout. We call that the Franklin Lakes layout because the guy that owned this layout was in Franklin Lakes, and we cut it in pieces and brought it here to reconstruct it.
How long did that take?
Years. It was probably, I joined when they were just completing this.
Wow.
It was just put together. Nothing was running. All it had was some wires run, and it had track, no scenery, nothing connected for the wiring. That's Matt. That was the president of the club when I joined. And
Yeah.
it's
Do I know Matt? Have I met Matt?
Matt is his father owned the building.
Oh, right. Okay,
He's
that's who you're
why
talking
we're
about.
here.
Yeah.
This is the kid, the 11-year-old kid. Matt was instrumental in getting us in here because when they lost the space that they stored the modules in, Matt said, well, you could set them up in my father's building. He has this big open space. And, he didn't ask his father, but it was just like, yeah, it's okay. And then when they set up the modules and started running trains, Matt's uncle, Bernie, who still owns the building now, got the train bug. He started buying stuff like crazy for the layout. And he bought the Franklin Lakes layout to bring it here. And Matt's father, who's gone now, he passed away. Matt's father he loved this. And he always told everybody, I had nothing to do with trains until Matt started going to these shows. And then, he was like Junior's father, Yeah. You like this layout, Dad? Yeah. So, Marty was instrumental in getting everything here. I always wanted it to be the nicest.
Well, we are the friendliest because everybody says, I can't believe how nice these guys are. I can't believe how well, I was treated. They'd ask questions, we answer them. That's the best part, interacting with the people. And I've gone to, I went to San Diego, which I went there back when it first opened, when they were first laying their Tehachapi things, right? I went there, I even had my shirt on, I introduced myself, and they're like, they could give a rat's ass. Luckily, there was a two-rail guy there who was very nice.
What he was just talking about, other clubs and other train places. The thing that always bothered me when I took my kids to train shows and train clubs was it was all these grumpy old men telling you not to touch anything.
Don't get anything,
And
don't bother.
From the day that I became president, I think it was 2007, around there, I said, we better talk to people like they're real people. Talk to people like they're your kids. And if you notice, there's no barriers on this layout. There's no big plastic walls that you can't touch anything. And everybody's like, well, you know, if somebody touches something, I said, what's the worst thing that could happen?
We get a new one.
Your train falls off the track, big deal. You know, put it back on the track and keep going. People realize, people see that, people know that, and when they come here, oh, these guys are so friendly. And part of that is because of the way we treat people like their family.
What was your reaction when you got, for the second year in a row, Member of the Year? How'd that feel?
Outrageous, because I sort of had a lot of medical problems. I wound up with a artificial leg.
Oh yeah,
I got my my artificial leg that I lost about 6 months of not being here, and as Ben said at the thing, when they awarded the thing the second time on Friday night, that the guys here most of the time with only one leg, and the thing don't bother me about one leg. It's life. I got to keep up and moving. And this is part of my life now, coming here. And it's a relaxing thing until the trains don't work right. And then you want to beat the hell out of yourself and beat the hell out of your trains and go home. But it's the friendship that I've built here with people that I didn't know before. And I don't know, it's just a good group of people where you can actually have a good time. And it's a old school type of hobby that you don't see that much nowadays. You know, all the kids are walking, or everyone's walking around, not just kids, adult kids, everyone's got their phone in their hand, and they don't even realize that the world's passing them by. Here you actually get to hold on to a piece of something that was started over 100 years ago and enjoy it. And this has been here, I think now like 20, 22 years, and I'm gonna really hate to see it have to come apart and hopefully go together someplace else someday.
We have people that come all the time, and they just enjoy coming in. They walk in, they're like, "Hi Tim, how you doing?" I don't know their name, but I'm excited to see them. I stop and I talk. I don't care who it is. I will answer your question. I was literally here from 4 to 4:30. I answered little girl, little 5-year-old and a 4-year-old's questions. We were leaning over the top. I'm like holding back, and she would just ask me question after question, and it literally got to the point where she ran out of questions. A 5-year-old ran out of questions, but she was trying to, you know, because she was just looking and what about this? What about this? What about this? You answer the questions because
They were sort of on
It's
the same level, you know.
listen, don't, I know I was more on the 4-year-olds level. We want young people to like it. We want, you know, middle-aged, older, because once all the old people die, the hobby dies.
How old were you when you got into trains?
I was 1.
You were 1?
Yeah.
What happened?
So there was a train store near my house, right? So my dad just wanted to see if, you know, if I would like it, right? So he bought me a set. And then after that, I just, you know, started loving, you know, trains.
So you've been coming here for about 6 or 7 years then?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite parts of the layout, personally?
Probably the transfer table, Hoboken, you know, the yards. I like some of the yards are nice, yeah.
Have you ever taken any of your friends from school to the layout? Like, has it ever happened?
No, but I'm trying to get some of my teachers in, so.
Really? Do you have teachers who like trains?
Yeah, some, yeah. Like 1 or 2,
Interesting.
not that much.
Wow. That's crazy.
Someday I'm gonna be the president here, and yeah, I want to be the president here one day. I redid this whole junkyard also. There used to be like little scrap pieces. It looked just cheap and just unrealistic. So we had like some old parts. We rusted it up, and we just like hit it with a hammer, and we made them look a little busted to make it, you know, just go like that. It's not that with a hammer. It's just that, you know, you gotta like dent it a little bit, you know.
When you do walk through, obviously our layout, when you do I'm going to say walk slowly and take the time, you can see incredible detail and the time and the effort that, went into that detail. And we have, I'm going to say trees on there. We don't have a tree, or, we have tens of thousands of trees. And if I told you that, somebody had to go and put glue on the bottom of every single tree and then hold it in place and then place it there. I mean, we're talking, how many man hours of, putting a forest together. I mean, it's just, somebody could work on that for months, just putting the trees in the forest. I mean, it's just, like I said, and you take a moment and you look at the detail and realize the time or man hours that went into it. I find that amazing as well. And I think that does come across when people do come and see the layout.
And if you look at our subway line, there's actually even little rats on the platform, like, just like New York. You can see the little rats running around, scurrying around on the track and stuff. There's tons of little things, and it's not just one thing. It's multiple, and it's a great thing.
We have probably every kind of scenic thing they've ever made. Look at this tree. But you just look at all the detail that comes in to the way we set this up. I mean, these are thought out things. I mean, they're not just thrown together. People come here and they're fascinated by it. They want to get involved in it. We get members just because they've come here and they visited during a show and they want to join. They want to be part of it. But also it's to educate people about various aspects of modeling. I mean, look at the kind of effort that goes into this scenery work.
Yeah, well, there's so many different things that go into this. There's electronics, electrical, woodworking, model building. There's so many other different things in it that it's a good learning experience. Like for kids that are looking for a trade, actually, it'll help them.
1966 Batmobile, 1940s Joker-mobile, a 1989 Batmobile, the 1989 van that has Jack Nicholson driving it. It's got a little figure of Jack Nicholson in it. The whole reason that I really liked putting them all in order was that I used to see some people would come up and go, "Hey, look at that, there's my favorite." Or little kid would go, "No, that's my favorite," or this and that. And there was one time, there was 4 generations. He had a guy older than dirt, or at least dated his sister. And he's like, "Hey, look, there's the first Batmobile." And I guess his son said, "No, that one was." And the other one goes, No, it's this one here." And the kid goes, "Well, there's the one from Arkham Asylum."
And where have you been, Mr. Kent?
Me? Oh, I've been around.
Oh, around, eh? And I suppose you can explain why you and Superman have both been missing for approximately the same length of time?
My dear Miss Lane, don't you realize there's a logical explanation for everything?
Oh, all right, start getting logical.
And we have all the different factions. We got Marvel working with DC. We got Marvel fighting DC. And it's neat running that, because you get people going, "Ooh." And when we go, "Ooh," then they know about this and they're happy and they'll tell people about it. And the more people come, more people build the hobby. And that's one of the key things. Who's going to take over your club when you get too old to do stuff? Ben's getting older. I refuse to get older. Well, I may get older, but I'm never going to grow up. You need someone that's going to carry on the legacy. You want someone to pass these trains on to, even though most of these trains, because they're electronics, are just going to be shelf things anyways. But you want to pass on the hobby instead of letting it die. This club means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, because it's for a bunch of different people.
You'll see a lot of things called shrafts around the layout. My father was a truck driver, and he worked for Shrafts, which was a restaurant chain in New York. They also made ice cream, bakery goods, and everything like that. He used to take me to work when I was Junior's age, and so it was a big thing, riding in a truck, all through Manhattan. And when I was a kid, I used to take all my trucks and paint them in the paint scheme of my father's company, Schrafft's. So now when I'm doing trains, there's a lot of Schrafft's trucks and Schrafft's restaurants around our layout. Now that's really because of my father. He was the Schrafft's guy.
I'm going to say the running joke, of course, is that any train layout is never done. Why? Because it's always a work in process. There's always things that are changing. Things are added, removed, moved around. So it's always just one thing after the other. So even what you're looking at there today, I mean, 2 years ago, it may not have been there, something completely different. So yeah, I never try to tally up all the man hours, but it's incredible. And again, what I've seen through the years, like I said, all the different changes and, yeah, so it's kind of like a dynamic changing, place. And again, the different members, add their different skill sets. So we'd have, different people that are, are going to influence different areas and just add their own personal touches to different sections.
Right, it's like just like a human being, we start off young, we get old, we change, different looks and styles, and the same thing here. There's different things that go in, different configurations on the track, repair things that don't work. It's just like a human being, it's never the same day to day. Well, change is always tough, and no matter what thing that you're doing, the human person or man does not like change, or change is tough. The existing layout, I'll miss the place, and hopefully we find a place to go to. Change is part of everyone's life, and change is going to be part of New Jersey HiRailers' life. Yeah. And we're going to move from this place someday to a new place, and change is always good. There's different things that you learn and do when change happens. It'll be better, different layout, and it'll give us something for the whole membership of the club to work on and stuff. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a lot of work, taking this apart and moving to a new place.
We're going to rebuild. How? Who cares? We're going to do it. Sit down, put pencil to paper, and do what we got to do. It'll never be like this. This is a once in a lifetime thing, and it's tough to see it go. But I'm optimistic that we're gonna land on our feet.
Say that you're not able to find a new space. I'd ask what would be the thing you miss most about this place?
Family. You get to do something you love. You get to do it with people who love to do the same thing, who, except for your political opinions, are on the same wavelength as you. And it's like a family. You argue with them, you get mad at them, you bitch and complain about them not doing their share around the house, blah, blah, blah. That sounds like a family. And if this club went away, besides all this and the wonderful history, the family goes away. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go join some other club, but it's not these guys. Not the same.
Does it ever kind of give you hope, the fact that the layout changes so much? It's like this hope that it could change again in a new place and
absolutely. There's no way in the world we're going to take this layout and reconstruct it somewhere else. It's going to be impossible. So if we do get another space, it's going to be from scratch with a completely different track plan. I always said that this layout was built in stages, so it was built with circles of track, which everybody's used to running in circles, which is the worst thing to run. It's boring. So if we redo it, we're going to have a track plan that's interesting and more complex than what we have now.
So it sounds like you might even be hopeful about what's coming next.
Absolutely, I'm definitely hopeful. I'm an optimist. Everybody else says, well, we can't do this because of that. I'm like, we could do that. We could do it. And for the most part, we've done it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's everybody said, that's not going to work, but it has worked.
I don't know. I find it an escape, and I can just come up here, and no matter what's going on in the rest of the world, the other 6 days a week, or if I decide to make it more days up here, I can come up here and just escape into this world of my reality with trains. It's good. It's, you know, I don't have to worry about the rest of life right now. I don't know if that makes sense or anything, but
Totally makes sense.
I don't know. It's just some people like to go out fishing, and I've done that. Go out hunting, I do that too. You know, shoot guns, that too. But this is another part of life and stuff, and there's some history. We have different layouts from, you know, Tom Snyder and The Sopranos, and it's I don't know. My wife took me to just see a play 3 years ago, and I had one pretty decent engine, and now I think I have over 200 different engines and cars and rolling stock and everything. It's I don't know. It's hard to say. It becomes a passion.